Ladies and gentlemen, what's good? We're back with another Call of Duty Mobile video. Hope you guys are having a fantastic day today. We do have the brand new MG42 Mythic in the game. I'm going to go ahead and say I'm not feeling great tonight, so I don't know if we're going to have a full gameplay to go with it, but I did want to unbox everything right here and see what they've got for us, because from everything that I've seen, this is one of the craziest Mythics that we have ever seen in the game. We got a full-on freaking movie trailer for the intro right here. I think a little bit of a look at what the kill animation is going to look like right there as well. And we do have the operator skin that's going to go with it. Eternal Honor Mythic drop. Obviously, we're going to go ahead and hop into the drop and see what they've got in store for us right here. The MG42 being the primary thing that we're looking at. Looks like we do also have a very interesting... Okay, this is a DLQ. I would not have guessed this. It's almost like a bayonet type thing that they've got on there. I don't know if that's the default scope. To be honest, it looks like a 6x scope. I don't know if you use the default scope, if it'll still hold that look, but should be interesting to say the least. Obviously, we've got the character skin right here as well. Pretty clean. We got 17,000 CP to work with, so I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I very well may not end up upgrading this thing. I don't think it's worth it for me at this point in the COD Mobile life cycle. Just max out everything that I possibly can. Obviously, we're going to buy the Mythic MG42. Just take a look, and maybe if we take a look at some of the upgrade things and what type of value it brings, there's a chance that we'll end up maxing it out all the way. But to be honest, I don't think the MG82 right now is in a place where it's going to be meta. I think it is a super solid weapon. We do get a legendary EMP. That's not something that I'm really ever going to use, because I can't remember the last time I was like, could really go for an EMP right now. That would be something that would really counter all the meta things that we're going up against. I mean, to be honest, it's not a terrible tactical, but especially as far as rank goes, it's just not a great option. This is honestly one of the more unique looking epics that we've had from a draw, just because I've never really seen a scope with that type of vibe. Probably have a video coming on that in the future as well. Looks like kind of an old school machete type look to this. I would figure that we would have maybe some animation on it, but I can't really complain about it. Looks very, very solid. Assuming the next one is going to be the character skin. And then last but certainly not least is going to be the Mythic MG82 right here. I believe this is the whole trailer that we literally just watched, so I'm not going to make you guys watch the whole thing. But as you can see, the MG82, the campaign, looks absolutely ridiculous. Obviously, we do go ahead and we gain the ability to upgrade it with the cards that I've already got. I could get it to level 2. I do want to go ahead and take a look at the gun itself. Obviously, we want to go ahead and throw it on right here. I don't really care what the default build on it is. What I mainly care about is the different things that you get from those upgrade levels. So starting off, obviously, we have level 1, where you get the upgraded attachments for all of that. I think that's definitely going to be worth it, just because it's nice to have those different looking attachments on there. Following that, we do have a different kill animation. Obviously, it still has the kill animation with the base version. That's not something I'm super, super crazy about. Following that, we do have Flames of War. I guess that's just a slightly different look for the gun. To be honest, I can't really see a whole lot of a difference, but I believe is it just different amounts of smoke? It legitimately looks like that is the only difference between the two. We do have different tracers at level 4. Once again, that's not something I care a ton about. And then obviously at level 5, you gain the ability to be able to share it and everything else. And maybe a couple more effects over top of it. But for me, I don't think it's going to be worth the upgrade. I did want to go ahead and throw on the character skin right here. And then I'm assuming the Thunder Gunner is the newest emote that we get along with it, so we'll go ahead and throw that on there just so we can kind of showcase the character a little bit. But I did want to take a look at the different kill animations and everything else. I'm gonna go ahead and crank things up to maximum graphics right here and make sure we've got everything possible on before we hop into a map. Obviously, we do have tac sprint with the weapon, hopping into a lighter area, so we can go ahead and take a look at the inspect, because honestly, I think that's the thing about this gun that is the craziest from what I've seen so far. The amount of detail. You've got people running up on the battlefield with an inspect animation. Obviously, Hans Zimmer was one of the people that collabed for this as well. What's he saying? What's he saying? Is he trying to get his teammates like back onto the battlefield right now? Good lord. Fight for the generations to come, I think is what they said right there. We got a freaking flyer in my face as well. Good night. Obviously, that is probably the most detailed inspect animation we've ever had. We do have our quote-unquote pay to win. Oh my gosh, that looks like, that's like negative visual recoil. This thing looks super clean. Obviously, the circles around the outside you could probably do without. We do have a unique inspect animation as well, but my gosh, is this thing just an absolute masterpiece. Obviously, we got to check out what the kill animations are going to look like as well. Now, I think because we didn't upgrade it all the way, we don't have tracers attached to them, but obviously we are going to get the unique kill animation on it right there. To be honest, it doesn't really look all that different from what I saw for the other upgraded ones as well. Maybe I'm tripping right now, but to be honest, it looks pretty similar. And obviously the last thing we wanted to check out was the unique emote and the operator skin as well. Very clean skin. I feel like it goes with the theme of the MG42. I'm gonna be honest, I've probably been calling this the MG82 for the entire video, and I know people are gonna correct me in the comments. I really don't care. That's what it was known as in Vanguard, I believe is the game that it was from. I do want to check and see if it has a different reload animation whenever you're on empty reload as opposed to a full reload. And as far as I can tell, I think it's about the same. Obviously, the time varies a little bit, but overall, no question, this thing is an absolute masterpiece. As far as the build I would recommend for it, if you guys watched our last MG42 video, there's a lot of different ways that you can build it out. You can have zero recoil, you can have maximum rate of fire, you can have a lot of different combinations. Ultimately, I think it's probably best to go for kind of a middle ground that gives you some of the advantage and combines them with other things that are going to give you some additional strength. So the first attachments I would recommend is the Maxim Silencer. Not only do you get bullet spread accuracy, you get suppression as well, and very little downside with only 5% ADS time lost. Even though you do have more downside for the Snake 355 rapid fire barrel, it does also give you a larger fire interval boost than the suppressor option that you have in the recoil booster. You can kind of go back and forth between the two to decide which you feel is the most worth it. Like I said, there's a lot of different attachment options for this gun. So you have attachments that give you huge upsides, but they also have major downsides like a loss in fire interval for the Snake 450mm. One underrated attachment I think you could potentially go with is the MK2 stabilizer, because damage range is one of the biggest things that you need to add on top, and the fact that you don't really have a whole lot of vertical recoil means you need some horizontal recoil correction as well, and the MK2 stabilizer doesn't have a ton of downsides. Outside that, I think the VOD skeletal stock gives you massive upside with minimal downside, only losing out on sprint to fire and hip fire while gaining 35% strafe speed is crazy, especially for an LMG that's in need of mobility, and then you get 10% BSA on top of that. Granular grip also has massive value. It literally doesn't have any downside. You gain strafe speed and bullet spread accuracy. Like I said, bullet spread accuracy, one of those stats that you are going to want to boost because of the gun's rate of fire. And then after that, you can kind of build it with whatever extra attachment you want. I don't think there's any grips that are super worth it, and I will say the reload speed on this is less than ideal. So the 8mm Jaeger ammo attachment is definitely a really solid option, given the fact that you're still going to have 100 rounds in the gun while also getting that 23% reload time reduction. Like I mentioned previously, no gameplay tonight. I'm feeling pretty sick and I don't have the energy in me to record it right now. But hope you guys did enjoy the video. If you did, drop a like down below, subscribe if you haven't already, and we'll catch you guys in the next one.